Oh god. So I haven't made a video in a while. I haven't really quite known really what to say. Instead of running around and fighting the force that's kind of out there, I was really frustrated for a while because there's not a lot of kindness left in the world. And as much as I hate to kind of be a pessimist, I guess, about it, there's a lot of truth in my eyes, and I've seen what I've seen, and I know what I know. And so I've been doing these photo shoots because I can kind of get a sense for what these characters in Graffiti Angels look like. And I had to set the record straight because I've been finding these tags on payphones, and Loomis Lake got tagged really, really bad. The whole outhouse, just, I mean, on the freaking roof. And I was just like, you know what? I just quit. I'm so sick of this shit. I would get really frustrated because here I am going out. I told a friend on Facebook just a couple minutes ago, I was like, you know, I feel naked without these crosses on my forehead. For some reason, I have learned to identify with these beautiful expressions of, you know, whatever. You can't tell me, you know, she's not a freaking walking billboard for Jesus. I mean, you can call me crazy, you can call me nuts, but all the doctors tested me, and they were like, she is. And I haven't been, you know, in the hospital since 2010. No, it was 2011. The beginning of 2011. I missed my son's birthday party, and it was a rough time. But I had kind of this covenant with God that I would go wherever I would know when I was going to go to the hospital before anybody else would. I'd be like, oh great. The thing is that you pretty much kind of have to get thrown on a 5150. The objective of the behavioral health centers say, well, our goal is to keep you out of the hospital, but they don't beat to the drum that they say they bang on, because there were a lot of times that I didn't need to go, but I went because I knew that I was going to minister. And it took me about 5 or 6 times before I realized this is a ministry. And I looked around at, you know, everything that got me to where I was, the things I accomplished. You know, I mean, I've had my blood literally spilled on walls. And the example is when I was supposed to go to the Dave Matthews Band concert, like back in 2005, I got picked up and they had stuck this needle in my arm, and I don't really know what they were doing. They were taking blood draws and they were trying to figure out, I mean, it was the closest thing to E.T. that Steven Spielberg could ever even begin to fathom in his lifetime. And that was just a story based on a concept, and I went and lived it. And I pulled this freaking needle out of my arm, and my blood just splattered all over this wall. And I just remember looking over at my blood on this white wall and how much of it there was. And, you know, they came in and they threw me down in 4 points, and I was just like, I don't want this needle in my freaking arm. Did they listen to me? No. Have they ever listened to me? No. And so here I find myself in this part of my life where I feel very liberated and very free in some ways, because I'm starting to see some people on Facebook be like really, really receptive to what it is that I've been trying to communicate without being able to put into plain words. There's nothing I could ever say. I mean, I could use every word ever created in this whole universe, and it could never prepare anybody for these places that I would go in this coma. And I was in 2 comas, and the second one wasn't fun. And I remember waking up from the second coma, and I just looked around and I thought, what in the hell am I doing back here? And it's really weird to cross over into these other dimensions that you know about. When people talk about the God particle, I know it. When people say scientists are starting to realize that human beings are actually composed of star matter, I get it. You know, there's all of this empiricism in science now that is proving, you know, creationism and evolution. The two go hand in hand. Created, evolved. And so here I am in this position where I humbly bowed out and said, you can take it all. And he did. He took it all. I was stripped of a kick-ass promotion. I was stripped of job after job. I was stripped of my basic rights. I was stripped of my humanity and my dignity. I was stripped of cars and homes and possessions, everything I owned. One storage unit actually cleaned out with my grandma's ashes and everything. And I kept thinking along the way, how much more can you possibly take? And it was the stupidest question that I could have asked, because he showed me, I'm going to take it all. And then it got to a point where it didn't matter. It did not matter to me what was taken. It didn't matter to me what somebody wanted. You know, if someone walked in my house and said, with a few rare exceptions of very sentimental things, you know, if someone said, hey, I really like that necklace, oh, take it. You know, I had given up my material possessions on more than one occasion. And where I'm going with this is that I've had to learn to exist in a state of lucidity that passes the societal norms of the way that people exist. But the great thing about art is that angels speak through art. People pour everything they have out in various different artistic ways. And I want to be able to, in the next 3 years, I want to be able to walk down a street with this cross or something similar like this on my forehead and just have people wave, or hey Angela, or oh my god, that's the cross girl, hey, you know. Because I started this. This is radical. You can't get any more emphatic. Jesus freakish. You can't get any more committed, devoted than that. And Revelation 22:4 says, he will look down and his name will be written on their foreheads. And that pertains to the people that are going to heaven. Because one thing that people need to understand is that where there is light, there is darkness. And in the midst of your darkness, sometimes it's really hard as a human being to find light. I've always walked this fine line and pushed, you know, the boundaries of just about everything that I've done. But nothing could be more provocative and mind-blowing to me than walking around with these beautiful ornamentations on your forehead, and people get really sensitive about this. I mean, why do you think that there isn't really a lot of jewelry and people don't wear tattoos so much in this area here? You could freaking do a whole band up some dude's arm, all down his chest, crosses on his back, and his forehead is blank.